Hi everyone, I'm Justin Mason.
And I'm Jared Mason, and today we are here to talk to you about one of our masterworks, the I Will Protect You Saga. And this is Volume 1, the Trinity of Heroes. Book 1, excuse me. And as you can see, this is quite the book. And this is what we would classify as epic fantasy.
But
a coming-of-age epic fantasy.
A coming-of-age epic fantasy, but not just that, it's also approachable fantasy. A lot of times when you say fantasy, people get scared.
They think they gotta learn a new religion.
A new language.
Or they're gonna spend like 600 pages learning about histories and guys that are long dead.
And that, and that's okay. And there is a little bit of some of that in the book. Yep. But we're not gonna make you learn a new language. We're not gonna make you look up these crazy pronunciations. We try and keep it as approachable as possible.
We want you to be able to get into the story, to become immersed in the world, and to be able to really fall in love with the characters. Because at the end of the day, this is a character-driven fantasy.
It really is. There's a lot of characters in our book that Jared and I have discussed numerous times. We really believe that most readers out there will be able to identify with at least one, if not a handful, of the characters in our book, whether they relate to them personally or whether they
know a friend
or have been in some situations like that themselves.
Yep.
So the original concept that inspired the I Will Protect You Saga, Book 1, the Trinity of Heroes, I originally called I Will Protect You. And I started working on it in November of 2012 during NaNoWriMo, which, as many of you watching will know, National Novel Writing Month. And my friend called me up one night and he said, hey, why don't you come over? I'm writing a story. Why don't you come up with a concept and we'll write together and we can bounce ideas off each other. And so I was really excited about this because I never really thought that I would
write a book,
become an author, write a book, yeah, just like you said. And so I was so just blown away by this concept. So I went over to his house that night and I sat down and I just started writing. I thought, what should my main character be? And then I came up with his name. And then what should his friend's name be? And his uncle and his dad. And what's the mayor's name? And all of a sudden I had this world and all these characters. And we had this whole collaboration going on. And all of a sudden I have 100 pages and 3 generations later. And I'm still writing. And the original concept, it was a member of the Halian Night Guard who never swung a sword. He only ever used his shield to protect those he loved.
Hence, I will protect you.
Yes, hence the concept for I Will Protect You. So, some things have changed from our original concept, but a lot of things have stayed the same.
We've really expanded out the original concept.
We have.
To include multiple characters with defined personalities, defined histories, and defined motivations in the story, in the book, for sure.
Definitely. So, we took the original concept. Jared came on board in March of 2013, and that was when we really started writing as a cohesive unit and working
as
on
a
things
team.
together.
That's really the first time we both wrote together as a team of authors.
Yep.
Was probably when you had about 100 pages of this pretty well written.
Yeah.
And we knocked out the other 200 pages together.
Yep.
As a team. And what the book is now is following our 3 young protagonists, Lawrence and Benny and Razius, as they try to become members of the Halian Night Guard. And that is the major focus of the first book, or at least half of the first book.
Yep.
And,
so tell them a little bit more about our characters. Tell them a little bit about Lawrence's background, because I think that's important to the story.
Lawrence is pretty much what you would consider to be the central character in the book. He's a young 16-year-old at the start of the story, and he lives he comes from a little bit of a poorer background, lives with his mother. His father abandoned them for reasons unknown, and but Lawrence really strives to become that great Knight of Hale. His father was a very revered Knight of Hale, and Lawrence still strives for that. He's doing it to make sure that he can protect his mother and make sure that she can have a better life than what she has.
That is Lawrence's main drive and focus in the first book for sure. Yeah. Now, what about Benny Wakewood? Tell us about Benny. Benny's kind of an exciting character because he has
Benny's that friend that everybody has that you just want to be around and when you go out to the bar.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Benny really is he is driven by success, and Benny needs to become his one and only goal is to become Night Guard captain. That is what his long-term goal is.
Breathes, eats, and sleeps
the Night
to
Guard.
become the Night Guard captain. That is his goal.
And him and Lawrence are lifelong friends.
They've been friends since they were
They've been
kids.
friends forever.
Yep.
And they want to join the Night Guard together.
And now we have one more of our three main protagonists, Razius. He is more low-key, he's quieter, he isn't so quick to get involved in things, he kind of sits in the background most of the time.
But he's still good friends with Lawrence and Benny, and he actually has probably as good, if not better, skills in the Night Guard trainings than they do.
Yes.
So he really moves up the ranks quite quickly.
Yes. So, you know, and of course, you always talk about the male protagonist. How great is your male protagonist? Well, you know, Lawrence is pretty great. But the book doesn't just focus on the men of this series. We also have very, very strong female leads.
Elsie Pyre in particular.
Yes, the daughter of the mayor, so she's a very important character. And
probably a love interest for one of our characters.
possible, it could be possible. But it's very important to us that we do not portray female characters as being ditzy, dim-witted, weak characters that can't protect themselves. We want to portray them as strong-willed.
With personalities of their own.
Yes, not just kind of a, oh, I'm scared, come and save me. Well, you know, that's okay, but are you only going to rely on me, or, you know, do you have some skills of your own that you could, you know, if you needed to get yourself out of a jam? And, you know, hopefully we'll see that. There's also, we also bring some sorcery and some dragons into our book. What about the sorcerers? Now we have Galvin Gabriel. He is a young, he's a little bit older than the other main protagonists, and he is aspiring to become the next master sorcerer of the lands.
So the sorcery part of the book really is where we don't have to ground ourselves to any rules, and it's really a fun part of the series. And a really fun part of this book.
You know,
if you think it can happen when we do the sorcery.
And when we talk about grounding ourselves, though, you know, we don't want people to think that we let them play God, because we really don't. There is still a set of rules. There is still a set of, you know, I guess I don't know how to explain it. There's certain things that they have to be able to do. You know, they have to learn these sorceries, and they have to channel their spiritual energy through the lands. And one place I really like in particular is the Everglen, which is home to the sorcerers. So we delve into that a lot. And
sorcery really becomes a main focus in the later part of the book.
But we don't Demon Souls the series where it's only about sorcery.
Right.
You know, because anybody who's played the game Demon Souls knows sorcery is just a little bit overpowered. You know, they are still very much human. And so I think we have a lot of interesting characters. I think we have a great plot. And the villains, to us, it's very important to us that the villains aren't just bad guys.
They're horrible.
They have to be horrible. And there has to be a reason for it. And it was very important to us as writers. We want to have villains that you guys love to hate.
Yep.
And so, you know, the first book is, I think it's an easy read. I pick it up and I find myself through 75 pages really quickly.
Yep.
I can't put it down. It's a very exciting adventure. So I want to invite all of you guys to check out the I Will Protect You Saga, Book 1, through Trinity of Heroes on Amazon, both digitally
Or in paperback.
or
if
in
you
paperback,
prefer.
if you prefer.
And you can see the links right in the descriptions.
We'll have our links right in the description for you guys.
And stay tuned for more videos as we talk about some of our other favorite characters in the
Favorite
series.
characters, some favorite moments,
And updates on book 2, which we are currently writing.
we're about, I'd say, halfway through book 2.
Halfway.
Should we do the reveal? Should we tell them what book 2 is called? Let's do the reveal. Jared, tell us the title of the second book in the I Will Protect You saga.
I can't. Next video.
Next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Justin Mason.
And check out the Trinity of Heroes on Amazon.